It is India's one of the largest construction equipment manufacturer. Welcome to ET Auto, sir.
Good afternoon and thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. We have seen a lot of thirst on infrastructure development in India by government of India. And how do you look at this industry or this sector growing in the coming year? It has been going through a bad phase. How do you look at?
Very optimistically, as we've always been, and there will be ups and downs definitely, but we've continued to invest both in the good times and the not so good times. We are coming back from a degrowth from April 2012 right up to October 2015, and growth has finally come back in the last 5 or 6 months, and we expect that, as you mentioned, the thrust on infrastructure, but very importantly the execution of the thrust on infrastructure to sustain itself for the foreseeable future.
So the construction equipment industry had peaked in 2011. Do you think we'll be able to achieve it in near future? How long will it take?
No, you're absolutely right. The peak was 2011, and we expect to return to the peak as an industry by next year, which is 2017.
What are the key elements that is going to drive growth for this sector?
All aspects of infrastructure. Today, the roads and highways sector has been the first to get off the block, so to speak. But we definitely have opportunities in irrigation, in railways, in ports, in terms of airports, urban rejuvenation, thrust on rural development. So there are many sectors that offer an opportunity for construction.
How do you look at capital goods policy helping you and overall manufacturing sectors, since you have been the chairperson for this committee at CII?
So the capital goods policy was or is the first policy for capital goods in independent India. So we have the Department of Heavy Industries, Ministry of Heavy Industries and Public Enterprises has spearheaded that. CII has been an integral part, and we've involved as many stakeholders as possible in the creation of this policy. So it's very much a grounds up policy so that everybody has had a view, or as far as possible. Now that a framework is created for capital goods, which fits into the overall Make in India campaign and in the creation of jobs, now it's a matter of execution of various elements of the policy.
So do you think the 2 years of Modi government has been able to put things on the ground, or you think there has been lag that has not let it grow as at a faster pace which we expected?
Infrastructure are big projects, and investment takes place in the states, and sometimes it goes beyond states. If you look at roads and some of the other projects, they go from state to state to state. So there's a lot of coordination work, whether it's on land or environment or shifting of existing facilities that may need to give way to a new project program. All that takes a little bit of time, but what's important is we are back on the growth phase.
One last question. How do you look at the growth at this segment?
This segment for the foreseeable future, and as I mentioned, there'll be ups and downs, but for the foreseeable future, several decades, infrastructure where a country is in deficit was first have to be made up, and then for young people like you, new infrastructure will have to be created. So we see this for a long term as one of the sectors that will continue to grow.
So what percentage, if you could give?
A 10 to 15% growth on an average is a good growth rate to have. But as I mentioned, there will be ups, there will be downs, and so there will be faster growth rates and slower growth rates. But an average of 10 to 15% is a good steady growth rate.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sondi, for this.
Thanks. Great pleasure.
Thank you.